wanted you to take a look here. This is my own personal site, SusanLEscobar.com. Right now my contact is shut off, I guess. I need to go in and figure that out. But this is a WordPress site. It's based on a 2017 template. You can tell because I haven't bothered even to change the font yet to make it look a little bit different. I need to do that. But I've made some changes to this. I've made it a multi-page, one-page application. I forget what they call it. So I've done some things so it doesn't look exactly like everybody else's. I've put in links to my Facebook and my LinkedIn. I need to put some news in here. But this is my personal web page, and I would probably never, unless I really, really had to, I would never build a web page again by hand, because I would much rather get into WordPress. I find that it meets all of my needs, and I would go in and make my own theme or take an existing theme and really make changes to it for customers. But this is a particular site. Another one that I show a lot is, here's another one that I've made. For a dentist. And it's done in WordPress, which is nice. But you can also put in plugins that give you additional capabilities. For instance, I have a testimonial rotator here. This will flip through, after a few seconds, it's going to flip through different testimonials. If you go to the directions, here's a Google Maps plugin that goes in. That's actually a Google API map. There's just all kinds of different things in here that you can do with WordPress. And the reason why I tend to show this site is because since they had this site already, they had the content, but they didn't have it done properly. So when Google made some changes, Google would never be able to see this dentist again if they didn't change to a different format. So since they had all the content, I was able to create this site, this whole complete site, in one afternoon, which I think is pretty slick. It probably took me, for my personal site, to get it the way I wanted it, couple of hours. Then I wrote the content and continued to mess with that. So, but you can get a really great professional looking website together very, very quickly in WordPress, which is why it's so cool. So let's go back and take a look at what it is that you would see. So this is the front the front-facing website, but inside of the administrative dashboard. So you really should see the other video first, so you kind of know the difference between the front-facing and the dashboard. This is kind of where I can see while I'm still working on it. But I want to go into the dashboard to see where I'm working. And this gets me here. So to change the look, in the previous video you already went over what posts and pages are. I want to go into your appearance and your themes. So down here you have a few themes here that you can pick from. I'll have a few more in there, and you can kind of decide which one that you want to start working with. I'll put probably 3 or 4 more themes in there for you to play with. If you are not working in a multi-site install, if you have your own installation of WordPress, there are literally thousands of free themes that you can go in and change and modify, and so they provide a good starting point for you to make something that doesn't look cookie cutter. But right now I'm going to keep in this 2017 because I really do like this theme a lot. But if you go down in here, all you have to do is activate a different theme, and it will change what your page looks like. Now, after you choose kind of what a theme looks like, and what you're looking for really is the bones. Like if I pick this particular theme, I can change the background color. I can change the font. I can probably even change if things are laid out on the right or the left. I mean, there's so many things that you can change. And the way you go in to change these things is in Customize. So under appearance, customize, I'm going to go in. And for starters, I don't want it here to say just another WordPress site. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to change my site identity. Okay, and if I don't want that even to show, I could shut it off, turn it on, whatever I want to do. This is if I have a personal logo that I want to go on top of that. I don't currently have a logo for this class, so I'm not going to do anything there. If you go in and your customized looks completely different than this, that's okay, because depending on the theme that you're using, these are set up by part of the WordPress community. They can be created by completely different people. So some things are going to be pretty consistent, like site identity will always be there, but some things maybe won't be all that consistent. Like you may have different options inside of here. The cool thing about this 2017 theme, so if you want to stay with this one, I recommend it. If you have different CSS that you want to put in, you can actually put it in right in there, which I think is awesome. In this, you can change the sections that are going to show on the page. So I must have had this set up somewhere as being a multi-page. This is set up kind of like mine, I guess. You can have it one column or two columns. Let's go back. Okay, this one's an important one, and this one will show up in all the customizes. This is static front page. So generally when you open up something like this, you open up right away to your blog page on the front. And if you don't want your blog to be on the very first page, you can tell it that you want to have a different page. For instance, if you want the blog on the first page, it's going to be your latest posts show up at the very front. If you don't want it that way, you are going to say here, I want my front page to be my home page and my post page to be my blog page. And you can change it that way. You change your colors. Now that just switches that, but a lot of times you can actually change in here what you want your colors to be. Now that's just the selection. Again, if you want to put in custom CSS, you can do that, which is great. Okay, so out of customize here, I'm going to go out of here and I'm back into the main dashboard. So let's take a look at widgets. Widgets are just little tools that you can put on your page. So you can say in here, what do you want to have? Do you want to have a calendar over there? Yes, I want to have a calendar over there. Do you want to have, I'm not a big fan of metadata in this context. Say I want to have a contact form, this WP forms. Say I want to put it always in my footer, for instance. Not that I probably would, but I can see here that I have different areas where I can put things and different widgets that I can use. Now the cool thing is that different plugins, which are third-party bits of code, may actually create a widget for you. It will show up over here and you can drag it and put it in different sections. This is cool. Let's say I want to have an RSS feed over here. And what I'm going to do is I want to pull up, let's pull up CNN RSS feed. Top stories. That's what I want. So I have this here. I'm going to go ahead and copy their top stories. Control copy. Enter the RS feed or US, and I'll just say CNN top stories. How many do I want to display? Maybe just 5, because otherwise it kind of takes over the page. Maybe show the date, save. Now I'm going to close that. So now I have an RSS feed inside of a widget. So let's go ahead and take a look at my site. Well, bad thing about this is I don't have the side for the CSS feed. I don't have that. I don't have it set up for that. So let's go back in here. Go back to, so much stuff going on. Too many tabs open. Okay, let's go into appearance, widgets. Since I only have, I put it in the blog slider, okay. Let's see if it's going to show up. And this is in the blog sidebar, so I have to be in my blog page. Yeah, there we go. CNN top stories. And I remember I drug over that calendar, so there are my widgets. All this really does, that calendar, is it keeps track of your different posts. So if you made a post on like June 7th, you would be able to click on June 7th and see what happens. Otherwise, I don't think that widget actually does a whole heck of a lot of anything. Okay, so that's what widgets are, and you can decide in the different areas where you want to put them. So the other thing is menus. So right now you saw on my page I had blog, content, contact, whatever. Here I'm going to go ahead and I am going to modify my menus. So if I click on that, whenever I create a new page, it is going to show up over here. Just the pages, not posts. Remember the difference. Posts is like making a diary page, but you know, or diary update. But this is they're for things that are more static. So I can go in here and I want to do my primary menu. This is a social links menu. Kind of throwing me off. It has a lot of things built in that weren't here before. So I want to actually do my top menu. And on my top menu, let's get rid of these bad boys. Say I want this, but not sample page. So I'm going to add these things to the menu. Let's say I want to rearrange them. Let's say I want contact to be about on a submenu on the about, and all I'm doing is dragging these things around. And so I'm going to make this my top menu. Save menu. So now let's see. I can go in here, I can visit my site. No, I don't want the dashboard, I want to visit my site. You can see I only have the pages that I have limited, and now contact is a sub menu. Okay. Now for uploading images and things like that, please, please, please make your images small. Adjust your images inside of Photoshop or something like that where you can actually resize them. You are going to be limited to, I think, 1 megabyte or something like that per image per post. So you can't have these big 5 and 6 megabyte images, or excuse me, you know, whatever, really big images in there. It will block you. So the way you upload things is you go to your media library, and this is what's currently in there. These are the things that came in with my post. But I can go ahead and I can add new. I can either select files or I can drag and drop onto here. I don't even know if I have anything. Let's see what I have. Dot. I have no idea what that is. So let's go ahead and open it up. Ah, see here, it exceeds the maximum file size for this upload because that is coming straight off my camera. It's probably raw, so I can't put it up there. So that's what you're going to see. I'm not going to try to upload things. I think that you can pretty much get the idea from that. That's how you upload. But after you upload things, you can go in here. You can see actually the address of where that item is stored. Here's where you would go in and add alt text to your images. It's probably actually espresso, isn't it? If I wanted to have a description or a caption, any of that, all of your images should have at a minimum at least alt text, because that will help your SEO when you get into that. You can edit your image here. It will let you crop it down. Let's say I want to I don't know, if I was going to rotate it or something like that. I don't really want to mess with it too much. But you have all of these options, and that's in your media library. So then whenever you have say you're making a post or a page and you want to add media to your particular post, I'm going to go ahead and hit the add media button, and I can look at my media library, and everything that is uploaded will already be here. Either that or I can upload things into my media library, but the place where you manage your media is in your media library. Okay, if you want to make a contact form or anything like that, you can get in here and play with this WP Forms. I think it's pretty simple. I'll have to make one. Plugins. Right now, the only plugins that you have access to, because this is a multi-site install, it's a managed network, they're only the plugins that I have given you, which are pretty basic ones. But the plugins show up here along the side. For instance, this WP Forms, that is a plugin. It's something that is not initially available inside of WordPress, but some other third-party developer made it and made it available, and then you can install these little things in your site to make them work. Now, the problem with that, they're great, they're wonderful, they give you lots of ability. They're also often the reason why your website will crash, because something, for instance, website code will update, or WordPress code will update, and the plugin people won't have kept track of the changes or something, or they don't update quickly enough, and then they stop. Your whole website can stop working. So you don't want to use more plugins than you need. You never want to just go installing plugins willy-nilly, because it will cause bad things to happen. But for instance, things that you have here that are plugins that are available to you are going to be this WP Forms. Jetpack I left in here because even though you probably don't want to go in and create a site for it, but it gives, if you are actually working in WordPress, Jetpack gives you a lot of capability. It does a lot of just interesting little things. But anyway, if something shows up over here on the side and you don't know what it is, it's likely a plugin. You can see here what plugins are available. AsCommit blocks spam, so I will do that probably for the whole network. Google Analytics, that's what allows you to track data for your website, so you can see who is coming into your site, where they're coming from. You can see all of the bots that are out there just trying to mess with things. I have these things that are not active because you're looking at my network thing. If you really want the ability to do something, let me know and I'll look for a plugin. But right now, let's see, the one that I will add for you, let me go to the network because I have to do it this way since this is a network. Let's do a image gallery. I want to add new. And when I'm looking for which plugin I want to use, I want to make sure that there's a lot of installations and it rates somewhere between a 4 and a 5, and that it's recently updated and that it is compatible with my WordPress. So this has a 5 rating, but it's only 110. It was last updated 6 days ago. So that one's probably pretty good. I think this next gen is probably pretty good too. So I'm going to go ahead and install that one that you can play with. And I will install this one that you can play with. So that's how plugins work. And then what's going to happen is if you go, well, I have to update these so that they're available. This is just on my end. But if someday you actually are managing your own WordPress site, you had to create your own account with Bluehost or some other different, you will have the same back end. So okay, so now if I go to my dashboard for my site, which is going to look like yours, I have Foo Gallery. See, that's showing up here now. Going to skip that. And now I can add a new gallery and just start playing with all kinds of things. Generally, these things have basic, plugins like this have basic abilities for free, and then as you want to get a little bit more personalized or customized or whatever, they will limit it and want you to pay. But obviously don't do that right now. You can do it in the future if you wish. So you can go in and play with these. Oh, one other thing that's important to say. See how it says here, your site is currently displaying a coming soon. Once you're ready to launch your site, click here. Because otherwise people will not actually be able to see your site. Now, you should have gotten in the email what your WordPress, what your website address is. And that is, the address when you are giving your site out to your grandmother or cousins or whomever you want to give it to. That is the address that you will give them, the URL address. Don't give it to them with this WP admin in there or anything like that. You don't want to do that because they're not going to see the back end of the site. They won't have access. But it's going to be, well, this is the flat out site, but yours would be WP, then whatever it is that you named your site. your address is going to look something more like that. Anyway, this is a lot of fun. I kind of tag on this assignment at the end of the semester because you need to have all those basic HTML and CSS skills. That is very key. You're not going to be able to go on in the web world without that. And even if you want to get advanced within WordPress, you need all of those skills. However, like right now, I think 1 in 4 websites, I think it's close to 25% at this point, of all websites on the internet are created in WordPress. So it is super duper important that you get some skills in this particular field. Otherwise, you're going to go and not be able to get jobs. If you look for jobs for web development right now, pretty much everything is going to have WordPress or some other type of content management system. So these skills are very, very basic for you to get to go out into the world. And also, it's just a lot of fun. So enjoy it. Let me know what you think. And if you have any problems, get back to me.